A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So you'll be starting our class soon. Today is 30th September 2021. It's a Thursday class. So we'll be continuing our sharing from this book, The Essence of Infinite Meaning, Teachings from the Adapted Verse of the Sutra of Infinite Meaning. We are at page 428. Just relax body and mind, maintain some form of posture that is most relaxed. Then we will have our usual half an hour of awareness-based meditation. We are off the light so that you can proceed with your awareness-based meditation. This is the meditation where you learn to develop awareness within, or what we call mindfulness within. When you are without thought, you're already aware. So to develop this awareness-based meditation is very easy. Don't think. Just relax body and mind completely, silent everything, and let things be. Just maintain awareness. Whatever arises, aware. Whatever happens, just aware. Aware, finish. Then the awareness will become more and more clear, more and more stable. And when you are able to be just aware without thought, that is the meditative state. So this training is very easy when you understand. Don't try to know. Don't try to do anything. Just the full support. Relax, aware, then maintain awareness. And finally is stay at the heart to trust your nature to do the meditation. Don't interfere with the thought process. Okay, I will set the alarm now for 30 minutes so that you can have your awareness-based meditation development. After the 30 minutes, I will ring the bell 3 times. Upon hearing the bell, slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Then try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner mindfulness or awareness that you have already developed. These are the mind states that you need to use when you go about doing your daily routine or doing your career, your household thing, or attend to whatever situation that you need to attend to. Use it to develop the daily mindfulness so that you are always mindful in the midst of life. The Buddha called this heedfulness. When you are ever mindful, constantly meditative, you are heedful. Means you are not heedless, you are not lost in thought. Okay. Uphold the teachings and practice them to reduce desire and cultivate contentment. With focus and wisdom, make great vows to carry out the mission. Having many desires and lacking in contentment is the biggest hindrance to wisdom. Having few desire is the secret to great wealth. That is how our mission of wisdom and our great vow can naturally and effortlessly progress. Now we'll go into the commentaries. Learning the Buddha's way is inseparable from carrying out the teachings of the sutras. Since ancient times, monasteries have maintained the tradition of holding morning and evening recitation every day. What is the purpose of carrying out this practice over and over? It gives the practitioner an opportunity to sincerely repent and wash away their ignorance. It also reminds them of the teachings and helps to develop their wisdom. So all this, the morning and evening recitation are just like our daily religious routine, where we have our daily spiritual cultivation or training develop as a routine. Then we will go through the routine. That's how it makes us focus and make our mind stable. When we are always with the Dhamma, when we are always reciting the recitation, developing the cultivation, strengthening our faith, renewing our precepts, chanting the salutation to the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, taking refuge, and reciting all the sutras. All these are part and parcel of cultivation. So when you do this throughout your daily religious routine, you will become very stable in your cultivation and your understanding of the cultivation. It's like you devote 100% of your time to spiritual training, spiritual cultivation, nothing else. And always remember, spiritual cultivation is part of life. Your life itself is our greatest teacher, and we can be mindful in the midst of life. The key to spiritual training is to develop mindfulness, heedfulness, or what we call apamada. You can be mindful and heedful throughout the day in the midst of life. Then you are in the meditative state. Then you will progress. Means you do not slack. You do not waste your time in other activity which may not be beneficial. So all this are very important understanding, especially when we come to cultivation. The Buddha taught us under the Satipatthana Sutra, or the four foundation of mindfulness, the four types of clear comprehension. This is to bring us back to focus so that we will not deviate. First is the clarity or sincerity of purpose. That is the most important clear comprehension. Clearly comprehending the sincerity of our purpose in going this way, in cultivating the Dhamma, walking the path of Buddhahood or the Bodhisattva way. Because we are sincere in perfecting ourselves to develop wisdom, virtue, so that we can realize the truth, awaken, and help bring across living being. Then we commit ourselves by having great vows to do this work. That's why the clear comprehension of sincerity of purpose is the first driving force. We are not here to study the Dhamma for other purpose. Some for personal gain, for their fame, for psychic ability, to become special, to become unique. All these are not the clear, sincere intent. The clear, sincere intent is to cultivate sincerely so that you can realize the enlightenment in the here and now. You can realize the truth, know the secret of life, so that you can understand life and live life. And when you can do that, you understand the teaching. Yeah, the teaching is what life is all about. The teachings basically summarize to us all of life, both the mundane and the supramundane. when you understand the teaching, you penetrate the understanding of life. To understand who are you, what are you, and what existence is all about, what life is all about. So these are very important, clear comprehension. Then the Buddha moved on. He said, apart from sincerity of purpose, we must have clear comprehension of domain of meditation. When you develop the meditation, you must understand that life itself can be the meditation. So the domain of meditation is existence itself, life itself. Every moment, every instant, when you are conscious or awake, you can develop the meditation so that you are not being deluded by what people think. People think they must wait until they retire from their job, their career, then only they can focus full time on meditation. That is a delusion. There is no such requirement, because when you understand, in the midst of life, you can cultivate. You don't have to wait. And sometimes they procrastinate. They say they are too busy. They have to work. They have to earn the money. They have to provide for the family. All this are lack of understanding. You can still work. You can still provide for your family, do your duty and all those things. But at the same time, you can cultivate. There is nothing to stop you. Where the domain of meditation is life itself. So when you understand this, you will not be deluded. You will not be deceived. Then like the Buddha always mentioned, be heedful, do not be heedless, because death is a reality, a certainty, and death can occur anytime. Don't always think you have time, you are still young. You want to wait till you finish a lot of your worldly duty, then only you want to start your cultivation. By then, it may be too late. You may not even stand a chance. So all this understanding are very important. Then the third clear comprehension is clear comprehension of suitability. Means the most important place is here and now. The most important time is also now. And the most important people are the people around you within your environment, where you can help, support, and train or teach. So all these are very important understanding of clear comprehension. Then the last one is clear comprehension of non-delusion. This one is to avoid the defilement of insight. When you have that type of clear comprehension, means you know what is path, what is non-path. You will not debate. And the 10 defilement of insight, you're supposed to understand them, read them up, so that when you experience them during your cultivation, you are not be deluded by it or deceived by it. So these 4 types of clear comprehension can guide you, prevent you from deviating. So this is where you apply the check. Are you sincere in your approach to cultivation? Do you understand the domain of cultivation? Do you understand the suitability of conditions, situation, time, and place? Do you have a clear comprehension of non-delusion? So all these are very important check and balance that you can apply to your cultivation. Okay, now we continue with the commentaries. Every word of the sutra is precious, and every sentence is wondrous. So we must be mindful of and respect every word and every sentence contained within them. The Sutra of Infinite Meaning is very short and concise, with only a single volume of 3 chapters. That's why this Sutra of Infinite Meaning or Innumerable Meaning is just one book with 3 chapters. So all these 3 chapters we have covered. The first chapter is, of course, virtue, which is the most beautiful. We are talking about virtue of enlightened beings, bodhisattvas, great beings. And after that is the preaching of the Dhamma, chapter 2. And now our last chapter is the 10 merits. When you walk the path of bodhisattva to cultivate this teaching to become Samasa Buddha, you will have these 10 merits. And they are inconceivable, where each and every of these merits are very, very inconceivable. That's why when it comes to this special sutra, the Sutra of Infinite Meaning, Wu Liang Yi Jing, although it's very short and concise, with only a single volume of 3 chapters, but it's full of very vital teachings. From the chapter on the Buddha's virtue to the chapter on his expounding of the Dhamma to the chapter on the 10 merits, it guides us step by step through the methods of spiritual practice and cultivation. Means if you go through this Sutra of Infinite Meaning, you will come to understand a lot more things about cultivation. First, of course, is the virtue of great being. You must have that type of virtue, that type of mind, that type of understanding, cultivation and perfection, leading to that transformation. That's why that chapter on virtue itself is a very wide topic. Then when it comes to the second chapter, how the Buddha actually expound the Dhamma, there you can pick up and learn a lot of things. Then finally, on the 10 merits. These 10 merits are very unique to the Bodhisattva, to the cultivator of the way, because they are inconceivable in their powers. So when you finish the Sutra of Infinite Meaning, you will have learned a lot of great Dhamma, especially the pointers about cultivation. So it is like a guide. It guides us step by step through the methodology of spiritual cultivation. So the Sutra of Infinite Meaning tells us that all Dhamma originate from the one Dhamma. Indeed, the working of the world are fundamentally simple, but if we try to analyze each thing on its own, it becomes very complicated. This is how something simple can be seen as something very complex. We must first recognize clearly the complication of external condition, then return to an awareness of our pure nature. See, the key is to realize the awareness of your pure nature or your true mind. To find the critical point at which our mind gives rise to ignorance means to develop the awakening. In this way, our mind can avoid being tempted, and we can avoid creating karma. Whenever we come into contact with our environment, and we can thus keep from adding to our layers of ignorance. As we navigate through this seemingly overcomplicated world or complex world, if we can see problems more clearly, we will not be attracted by external phenomena and can slowly clear away the ignorance in our mind so that we are not being deceived or deluded by the phenomenal world of consciousness. In our modern society, we can see how the pursuit of materialistic wealth or money has given rise to so many social problems and wrongdoings. This has been the cause of a lot of disturbance and fluctuation in the economy. Looking at this, it is not hard to see how greed and desire cause problems for people nowadays. So we need to uphold the teaching and practice them to reduce desire and cultivate contentment. If we can uphold the Dhamma in our spiritual practice, be contented and have fewer desire, the ignorance in our mind will slowly fade, and the light of wisdom in our mind will shine brightly. So this wisdom light is very important. By awakening our wisdom to illuminate our true mind, we can eliminate confusion and conflicts. As long as we are focused, we will know how to awaken our wisdom. Confucius said, in a group of three, I will find my teacher. If we look at the world with this spirit, then all things, all matter, and all relationship can help us learn to differentiate right from wrong. And our resolve to engage in spiritual practices will not be negatively influenced. We often say that everyone is a Sutra. Everyone can be our teacher. The Sutra of infinite meaning state, infinite Dhammadal, readily appear in front of us. In this case, where should we look for the Sutra and the teaching? We can find them within every person. Every person is teaching us the Dhamma. Then by focusing on spiritual practice and attaining wisdom in the world, we can shoulder the Tathagata's work. So Tathagata here means the Buddha. With focus and wisdom, we make great vows to carry out this mission of ours. However, we will find it hard to manifest this wisdom if we feel like we never have enough. For example, some people have good career but give them up because they want to get rich quickly. Because of greed, they fell on hard times, wind up unemployed, and even end up selling their homes. These people's minds are covered by ignorance, and because of their insatiable desire, they act unwisely, and thus ending up living a most foolish kind of life. Therefore, having many desire and lacking contentment is the biggest hindrance to wisdom. So this part is very important. You must avoid having desire and lacking contentment. Desire are your craving, your want, your covetousness, your lust, your attachment, and all this can give rise to suffering, misery, and can distract you and draw you away from the cultivation, the path. You become like heedless, carried away. Then when you lack contentment, it will condition your craving, your desire to, then it will cause your downfall. Because when you lack contentment, you want to compete, you want to like crave for more and more things, because that very comparison that your mind carry creates the measurement for you to aim very high. So the lack of contentment can bring about downfall when you don't have the understanding of the Dhamma. Contentment is to be contented with what you are at every moment of your life, at every instant of your life. You cannot have contentment is because you don't have the Dhamma. You don't understand the nature's law that governs life and existence. You want things your way, which is not nature's way. Nature's way is already set. Condition like that, things will like that, it cannot be otherwise. Then why do you have craving, desire? Whatever will be, will be. Thing is just the way it is. When you understand the Dhamma, you will know how to work towards it for the good of the many, for your own well-being and success. So all this understanding is available when you cultivate the teaching, when you understand the Dhamma. So they summarize into very simple understanding. Avoid having desire and the lack of contentment. If you can have contentment and only basic need, no really severe desire or craving or attachment, your life will be peaceful. Your mind will be free. You will be beautiful. So all this are understanding that you develop after you have developed your cultivation. You can find out for yourself. Then I will read on. As we live in an environment where there is no lack of material resources, if we can reduce our desire, we will feel very wealthy. Think about it. A simple life with a roof over one's head, enough clothing to keep warm, and enough food to be full. Isn't this the most comfortable life? Where we can use our talent and ability to contribute to society every day, won't we then have the greatest wealth? That's why the Buddha said contentment is the greatest wealth. If you lack contentment, you are not wealthy. You are being poor spiritually inside. The ancient sage said, to leave your son a skill well learned is better than passing down thousands of family treasure. Do you agree with this? This one is a good saying. I think very appropriate. You can leave behind a skill well learned or the understanding of life and how to be successful in life is so much better than passing on the wealth or the treasure to your children. Because if they don't learn a skill well learned, or if they cannot understand life, they will squander of their wealth. They will not be able to make use of it to grow or to help them to develop the spiritual enlightened life. Normally, they will be drawn by craving, desire, and wrong friendships. that brings about downfall. So all this happened before and you can witness them in the world. So truly, if you can learn a skill, then you can be successful in life. Then you are much better than inheriting just whatever your parents have for you. Even if they were to give you inheritance, no harm, provided you understand its purpose and know how to make use of it for the good of the many. Then able to develop a skill well learned is very important. When you have a skill, you can have passion, you can develop great learning, and you can be skillful in that field. And that will help you understand many things. Okay, we will read on. No matter how much wealth a person has, if he does not know how to retain and protect his fortune and is opportunistic and lazy, he will quickly find himself in poverty. So this is the danger of passing on the inheritance of the wealth to children who don't have the understanding. It is better to use our own strength and talent to earn a living, so our life can be stable and we can be contented. Therefore, having few desire is a secret to great wealth. So this is a very important sharing and advice. About inheritance, we have to understand don't be influenced by what is mentioned here. Then you say, oh, you don't want to have inheritance. No, it's your parami. You have been giving away your inheritance to your children or your whoever that you have affinity with. That parami will come back and you will receive them from your parents and people whom you have affinity with. So when you receive this inheritance, it's your parami. You should rejoice and thank your good karma. Then use it for the good of the many. Then use it as a stepping stone to develop financial freedom, to develop the condition for the good life, so that you can actually reflect and contemplate on how to establish yourself financially so that you don't have to work for money, don't have to work for people. You let your wealth work for you. Then you will have more time to yourself to live life, to really live life the way you want it to be. So the option to retire early, to do the thing you like to do in life is there. So you should rejoice and thank your good parami. You can have that condition and you can do that for your children. In future, you will have parents who will also give you the same condition. That's why your life can be meaningful, beautiful. Otherwise, if you are the first generation kid, you have to build up all this understanding and on your own you come up. That it can also be done. Like this life. I am from the first generation. That's why I established myself. And I did what I can through the Dhamma understanding. And I reached the pinnacle of my life. Every aspect of it, I developed them. And these are possible if you have the Dhamma, if you have the understanding and the parami. So this is an added sharing. This is how our mission of wisdom and our great powers can naturally and effortlessly progress. Yeah, this is very true. We hope that everyone can have few desire and be contented. give when able to, and help those in need. This is what we are working towards in our mission. We must focus the power of wisdom, go among the people, and put our great vows into action. We come and fulfill our vows. We come and develop the cultivation, the perfection. We come to develop the understanding of life and to live the wonderful existence with Dhamma understanding. That's the beauty of Buddha Dhamma. That's the beauty of this teaching, which is so unique yet so beautiful. Because this teaching is so wonderful and so comprehensive in the sense that when you understand this teaching, you understand completely the whole secret of life. You not only understand life, you also know how to live life to the fullest. And this is something which is very unique and very beautiful. And you can be a blessing to all. That's why this teaching is really wonderful. The fifth merit is inconceivable. If we can uphold, recite, transcribe, and never deviate from this sutra, we can extend our present resolve forever, always remain in accord with the sutra, and lead sentient beings to joyfully believe and accept this teaching. Though we have not yet distanced ourselves from worldly matters, we will still be able to demonstrate the great Bodhi path. We are like a newborn dragon prince, only 7 days old, who can already gather clouds and bring down the rain. So this is the adapted verse. We will go into the commentaries. People in ancient times did not have the same extensive access to printing presses as we do now. So the main method of transmitting the Buddha's teaching or Dhamma was through lectures or sutras. To prevent people from forgetting what they have heard, everyone was encouraged to recite and transcribe the Dhamma. On one hand, this helped them commit the teaching to memory, which would benefit them. On the other hand, this also helped spread the teaching, which would benefit others. So in the ancient days, there was no writing. So the only means of transmission is oral. That's why the Buddha proclaimed the Dhamma through all the sutras or discourses that the Buddha has delivered. This becomes the teaching. Nowadays we are more fortunate because we have writings. Then we have the benefits of civilization's progress. We have paper, we have computer, all the electronic things that can allow us to record and slowly listen back to transcribe what has been spoken and organize them into proper ebook or printed media. Then we can broadcast it through video. Nowadays we have YouTube, we have other type of social media sharing too, videos, audio file, or even website to carry all this. So these are the benefits, but there are danger to it also, because it's like a double-edged weapon. Technology, if used properly, appropriately by the wise, is of great benefits to the world. But technology, if been deludedly heedlessly make use of by the unscrupulous or the deluded or those who are out to create chaos and problem, then it can bring about a lot of negative aspect to humanity or mankind. So when we look back, the ancient time has its limitation, but it also has its benefits because we only have the Buddha to give the proclamation, and all the words that he spoke will be authentic. So what you hear are the true Dhamma. That's why during that time, a lot of enlightened beings, people become awakened or enlightened very fast. But nowadays, you search the internet, there are so many teachings, you don't know which one is correct and which one is wrong, which one is appropriate or not. Then you get so many commentaries and interpretation of this teaching. So if you don't have your karmic past, your understanding, it's very difficult to filter. Because of that, the pros and cons are there, but you need to have the skill or ability to filter them. You can filter them, you will get tremendous benefit and you learn very fast. Then you can also, after you have learned, share your understanding. So all these are possible with our present day civilization's advancement. But in the past, they don't have such luxury here. That's why they have to commit to memory. Then they have to develop the chanting to make sure that what is being transmitted are authentic. Maybe whatever that is being transmitted, the chanting, they can remain pure. But over time, the understanding of these words in the chanting is no longer there. That's why it loses its potency. So the interpretation of the sutra, the chanting, may not be authentic anymore. And because of that, we have the present day's dilemma or problem. That's why there are so many divisions of teachings, so many schools of teachings. Then the worst thing is they complicate it with method, techniques, and teacher. That makes the situation worse. Then with all the mix-up of things, new people are finding it difficult to learn this teaching, this Dhamma. In fact, if you don't have a good teacher or a good guide who really have the understanding and the awakening, it's not easy for you to understand this teaching and learn this teaching and penetrate this teaching. So these are the pro and con that I would like to add on so that people can understand. Okay, I will read on. The Buddha hoped for all sentient beings to accept the Dhamma, so he repeatedly expounded it. Later, Sutra translator wanted to explain and clarify the Buddha's teaching. Their written analysis expanded the teaching into 12 sections of the Tipitaka. We look at note 54. I think this one is explaining the Tipitaka. Oh, they just tell you what the Tipitaka is the full canon of the Buddhist teaching. They used to say Tipitaka got 3 sections, or they call it the 3 baskets. The first section or the first basket is on the Vinaya rules, the rules of the monks, the monks and nuns. Then the second basket or the second division is the Sutta, all the discourse of the Buddha. They are categorized into suttas. Then they got all the various type of Majjhima Nikaya, then the Sunyata Nikaya, and Digha Nikaya. the three middle length, the short and the long discourse. Then apart from that, they also compile many other sections. They also have the section on this Dhammapada verse. Then book of pair, book of numbers, and many. Then of course the third basket is supposed to be the higher teaching, the Abhidhamma. So these Abhidhamma are the higher teachings of the Buddha, and they are taught in both Theravada and Mahayana traditions. So this explains what this Tipitaka is all about, right? The Buddhist canon. Consequently, entire buildings were required to store all these texts because of words. But if you want to record all the teachings that the Buddha has taught over the 45 years of his dispensation, oh sorry, not dispensation, after his enlightenment underneath the Bodhi tree at the age of 35, he teach for 45 years until he was 80 years old before his parinibbana. So 45 years of continuous unceasing teaching actually is a lot. That's why if they can really commit to memory or write it down in Sutra form, which we are having nowadays, is actually a lot. That's why it's volumes, many volumes. And they are not easy to understand. So as a new Dhamma practitioner, you want to know the Buddhist teaching, it's actually not easy. First of all, the moment you hear about the Tipitaka, you want to give up already. So many sections. Even to be a monk, the Vinaya rules, the monk's precept, 200 plus of monk precept. For the nun is 300 plus. This itself is a very extensive topic to develop understanding. Then the sutta itself is so wide a topic. Then of course Abhidhamma is even more difficult to understand and comprehend. So all these are not easy. Okay, I'll read on. Technology today is so advanced that the Buddha Dharma can be transmitted anywhere with the use of computers. See, the author of this book also know. The full Tipitaka, the compilation of all sutras and discourse of the Buddha, can be stored in a single machine and has even been digitized into ebooks. We only need to tap our finger on the keyboard to find it. So while it is not difficult for us to read the sutta or hear the Dhamma, modern people do not necessarily appreciate this. In comparison, it was not at all easy for the ancient people to read the sutras. Someone had to finance the transcription in order for the sutra to be circulated. So those who reproduce the sutra gain boundless merits. The problem is at that time, before the passing away of the Buddha, they rely on the Buddha. They never think that they had to compile all this. So there was none actually. The teaching was not really compiled until the passing of the Buddha, his parinibbana. Then they hold the first council of Buddhists. The first council was very beautiful. It was based on the 500 Arahant. These are pure enlightened beings. That's why the first council, the teaching were very authentic and they were repeated. Then the later second council, third council, problem arise. And a lot of other things happen. But that's the way it is. Anyway, we just have to make do with what is available to us at this moment of our civilization. Okay, I'll read on. In the process of reciting and transcribing Sutra, if we can understand one sentence and gain some realization from it, our wisdom life will grow. So we should seek to sustain that instant of understanding to extend our present resolve forever. The Sutra of Infinite Meaning states, good man and good woman will be able to extend one day into 100 kappas and shorten 100 kappas into one day. They lead sentient beings to joyfully and completely accept the teaching. This is good, huh? They lead sentient beings to joyfully and completely accept the teaching. What this means is, in the process of reciting and practicing the sutra's teaching, if one sentence or one paragraph allow us to realize even a single teaching or principle that we can apply benefits ourselves and others in our daily life, then the merits of that one day can last for 100 kalpas. My teacher, Dhamma Master Yin Sun, this is about the author, encourages me to work for the Buddha's teaching for sentient beings. Although the time it took him to speak these 6 words was only a few seconds, I have tried to practice them for my whole life. For me, this sentence, spoken in an instant, was not just a lesson to work on for a single day, but a mission that must continue for hundreds of kalpas. Although this everlasting mission cannot be completed in one day, as long as everyone shares the same aspiration and continue kindling the light of wisdom in others, the Buddha Dhamma will be passed on endlessly. This is what it means to extend one day into 100 kalpas and shorten 100 kalpas into one day. So it's a very good analogy. Yeah? The sutra often mentions kappa. Just how long is one kappa? There are decreasing kappa, increasing kappa, and increasing and decreasing kappa. During the decreasing kappa, the average human lifespan decreases 1 year every century from 84,000 years down to 10 years. During the increasing kalpas, the average human lifespan increases 1 year every century, starting from 10 years old and increase to 84,000 years. One decreasing kappa and one increasing kappa comprise a small kappa. So now we can understand that extending one day into 100 kappas and shortening 100 kappas into one day refer to how many small deviant thoughts can cause us to create an eternal or entire lifetime of negative karma, and also how bringing together the wholesome thoughts of countless people can help us quickly accomplish the mission of saving the world. So we'll open up for meditation reporting or Q&A, question and answer session.
Maybe I'll touch on this because I think last Tuesday was it that Brother Jinhao talked about dreams, yeah?
Yeah. He talked about dream, yes. Yeah.
I came across this, there's a name of the sutta, Supita, is it? Supita. The number of the name, the numbering of the Nikaya, I can't remember.
Never
Later,
mind.
maybe
What is
I
the title?
later I post it to our chat.
It's okay. Okay. Yeah.
What I would like to bring out is that our Gautama Buddha, before he got all the signs that he, like last time Brother Teo was saying, he sort of throw his bow in the river and then
that is
bow
flow
went
upstream.
upstream.
Yeah.
So this was recorded in the sutta that say that before his enlightenment also he had some dreams.
Yeah.
I think five indication.
Oh, sadhu. Oh, that would be interesting. I didn't know about such sutta. Yeah, it's good if you can share it. Yeah.
I didn't know it's recorded in the sutta. So in fact, a few times I wanted to share it, but there was no condition.
Oh, sadhu. So today
Today,
is a good
since
condition. Yeah,
I was called out, yes,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
yet
Sadhu.
Brother Chinha was talking about dreams, so I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
the
yeah.
condition is there.
Yeah. Sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, Supina Sutta, dreams.
Oh, okay.
Supina means dreams. Anguttara
Yeah.
Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya.
We will have the
I
link.
don't have the link for the time being.
Oh, never mind.
I'm going to tell what is inside the dream.
Can. That is good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because this one connected with a poster that we all saw it in Brother Lim,
Oh,
Sumeru,
okay. Yeah.
his private
Tomorrow. Yes.
shrine.
Yeah.
I think Brother Teo also saw it.
Yeah. We were there. Yes.
So this thing struck me, and straight away I recall this poster.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I just read out. Allow me to read out.
Yeah.
Dreams that foretold his impending enlightenment.
Oh, sadhu.
One perennial delight is five dreams that
Mm.
ascetic Gautama had
Mm.
on the eve before enlightenment.
Ah.
The dreams were encountered by Buddha in the Supina Sutta,
Mm.
Supina. He
Ah.
said first he dreamed that he was lying on a large bed
Mm.
that was the earth
Mm.
with the Himalaya as his pillow.
Yeah.
His left hand rested in the eastern sea,
Yeah.
his right in the western sea,
Yeah.
and his feet in the southern sea.
Oh.
So this is the first dream. Before I
Yes.
go to the second dream,
Mm.
but anything come to you or not?
No, not at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. This one, when I first read, the
Yeah.
first thing was the poster from Brother Lim's Sumeru
Oh,
shrine,
okay. Yeah.
personal shrine.
Uh,
Because when I see this Himalaya as his pillow, that means he was lying with the
yeah.
head on the Himalaya mountain,
Yeah.
and then his whole body is on the India,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whole
The
continent.
continent, the whole
Yes,
continent. Yeah.
that's why his left hand, where is it? Where
On the
was that?
east.
Okay,
On the
left
east.
hand on the eastern sea of
Mm, yeah.
India
Yeah.
map, the map, right?
Yeah. Correct.
His right hand in the western sea of
Yeah.
the
Middle
India
East
map.
there.
His feet in the southern sea,
Yeah.
southern of India, right?
Yeah.
So
Indian Ocean. Yeah.
this is exactly the lying down posture that Brother Teo has been telling us
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
relax our
Relax.
body in this lying down
Yes.
posture as
Yes.
like a dead body.
Ah, like a dead body. Yes.
Yeah. Then this poster was what we saw in Brother Lim's there. There's a poster having this person lying. Do you recall the poster?
Yeah. Now I recall.
Ah.
Yeah, but I didn't read the thing. I didn't know it was a dream.
Yeah, I didn't know until I read this dream in
Oh.
this sutta, and then
Mm.
how I said, "Wow, there's such a dream," and then there's a poster that I have seen
Dream
before.
before, meant to be.
Yeah, then the whole person, right, lying on the India map there, and then with his hand like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was something extraordinary that Brother Lim got that type of poster. But now
Yeah.
I connect it with this dream. Yeah.
Yeah. Sadhu.
So the second dream, Brother
Yeah.
Teo,
Yeah.
a woody vine,
Oh,
vine,
I know.
grew out of his navel,
Oh, sadhu.
reaching to the sky.
Oh.
Okay. Then the dream,
uh,
he saw white worms with
mm,
black heads
mm,
crawling up his legs and covering to the knees.
mm,
In the fourth, that means
mm.
fourth dream, I don't know
Yeah,
how they classify it.
yeah.
4 different colored birds flew from 4 directions to
Oh,
fall at his
mm.
feet
Oh, sadhu.
and turn completely white.
Sadhu.
And in the final dream, the fifth one, he saw
Mm,
himself walking back and forth
mm,
on top of a giant mountain
mm.
of excrement. Excrement means feces,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but he was not soiled by it. He
Yes.
was not dirtied by it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ascetic Gautama awoke. He knew that this was the day that he would attain enlightenment,
Oh,
become
sadhu, sadhu.
become a Buddha,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
teach Dhamma and start a movement that would draw practitioners and lay followers.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Wow,
Then in the
beautiful.
Supina Sutta,
Yeah.
Buddha himself explained the symbolisms. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he said the first dream meant that he would awaken to enlightenment knowledge.
Yeah.
The second meant that when he had awakened, to the noble eightfold path, he would teach it to both humans and celestial beings.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because the second dream he said about
The
worms,
navel. Oh, the worm. Oh, not the
worms,
navel. Not the navel one.
the navel, the navel. Sorry, the woody
Uh,
vine grew out.
yeah,
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 the
yeah.
navel one, the
Yeah, yeah.
woody vine grew out of
Yeah,
his navel, reaching
yeah,
to the
yeah.
sky.
Yeah, yeah.
So they symbolize it that he would teach to both humans and celestial beings.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
third was that many white cloth, those wearing white clothes,
Yeah, yeah.
practicing,
Yeah.
householders will go
Mm.
to him for refuge.
Yeah, yeah.
The fourth one is because of different colored birds flew
Yeah.
from.
4 direction.
No, the third one he said saw white worms
The
with
worm
black
with the
heads
black head. Yeah.
crawling up his legs and covering to the knees. So
Yeah.
this one is symbolizing the third one. Many white cloth householders will go to him for refuge.
Mm.
Now the fourth one just now was talking about 4 different color birds flew from
Yeah.
4
4
directions to fall
direction.
at his
Yes.
feet and turn completely white. Okay, this one symbolizing that people from the 4 castes would join his community, walk the path he prescribed,
Yeah.
and realize Nibbana for themselves.
Sadhu. Yeah, India, there were the caste system for. Yeah, correct. Yes.
Fifth one said that he saw himself walking back and forth
Yeah.
on top of a giant mountain of
Yeah, yeah.
excrement,
Yeah,
but he was
extreme.
not soiled by it.
Mm.
So the fifth one, the Buddha would receive gifts of robes, arms,
Mm.
lodging, and medicine, but would not be attached to them.
Mm. That is
They
the
they they explain
Sutra.
it this way.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
know the commentary mentioned it.
yeah. So these are the 5
Sadhu.
dreams
Yeah.
before enlightenment.
Oh, sadhu.
Supina
Yeah,
Sutta.
Spina. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I wish to share lah.
Yeah, very good. Sadhu. This is the first time I heard about it too.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful. I will read it out and see what is inside there. But
Maybe
the sign that earlier on that the Buddha received were very beautiful. This dream is one of them. But before that was the alms bowl. Sorry, not alms bowl. The offering by Sujata. So that mock rice is meant to be, he knew, he saw the sign. Then after he finished his meal, he made an aspiration and threw that thing into the stream. But instead of flowing downstream, it went upstream. There he said, show me a sign. That is what I will do too. I mean, not in this particular manner. When I was cultivating, I also at times during my cultivation, when I have certain type of like uh, understanding coming my way, then if it's meant to be, I will ask whoever great being that are around, show me a sign if this is meant to be. Then the sign really come. That I know is meant to be. That's why later on I can read all these signs. All this that cause things to arise, the condition behind, the sign will be there. That's why I will make that decision there and then. Because it's meant to be. And sometimes even whatever that has been planned, like our spiritual trip on the itinerary, I will just cancel some of the itinerary, then we will move the other direction. It's meant to be, will be. And as long as you have the understanding, you accord and flow, and you accord and flow means flow with the sign, flow with the condition. Do not resist. Do not allow the mundane mind or the views, the opinion, the conditioning from the brain and the memory to come in and interfere. You just accord and flow with wisdom, with understanding. But when your nature is beautiful, everything will move the Dhamma way. Dhamma way is the best outcome. And Dhamma way is nature's way. That's why when I do that, a lot of things actually manifest and happen. Because when you do this, some of the forces in nature, the non-humans or even sometimes the evil forces, or even if they want to like prevent your whatever sharing or teaching or disrupt whatever, they find it very difficult to predict my decision and my movement. So because of that, when they know you don't resist, you don't get yourself attracted to certain thing, then they find it very difficult to actually cause their thing to arise or happen. Then they normally will know that this is the being that has the Dhamma, and we cannot touch him. We cannot do all those things to him. Because his nature is such, it will shine for, So ability to understand sign, to see sign, to read sign is an aspect of cultivation when your cultivation has matured and reached more or less very advanced understanding. Then all this become possible. That's why the Buddha will see all this. And sometimes it will come as a test. Then you will know it's meant to be. It's a test. And you will know how to clear them. So all these are part and parcel of cultivation. And cultivators encounter. Uh, and this happen very often in great beings who has already cultivated very long. So all these are very beautiful sharing. That's why when I heard about Sujata who offered the mock rice, then I heard about the sign. Then now you tell me about this dream. So these are the many things that came to him. That's why he is very sure, he knew. That's why he made that vow. He will not arise from that seat unless he is awakened or fully enlightened. So all these are very beautiful understanding. So thank you so much, Amy, for sharing this one. This is another something interesting. Maybe when you forward the sutra, I read it, I may see something, then I will share some more. I need to read the whole sutra. Thank you so much.
Tomorrow I'll share the link.
No problem. Yeah, Sadhu.
Yeah, at night I don't look at computer.
Don't. Your eyes like is such.
Very,
Yeah,
very glaring. The
yeah,
blue
yeah.
light. too
Yeah.
glaring for my eyes.
Yeah, where you went through that thing, huh?
Cataract removal.
Yeah, cataract. Yeah. Very good.
Okay, another thing, but you
Yes, yeah.
remember about this Saleka Sutta?
Sadhu, yes.
This has been, I think you have mentioned this Saleka Sutta many times, not
Yeah,
less
many
than three
times.
times, not
Yes.
less than 3 times.
Yes.
So I hope I got the hint and then already helped to
Yeah. You
show
created the
the Saleka
condition
Sutta.
for the
Yeah.
Saleka Sutta to be re-expounded. Because the first time I did it was in the year 2005, after I came out not long. But at that time, people cannot understand. They cannot understand that they were not ready. But this time is different. This time is a lot clearer. Than
And
to
then
uh,
on all the 44 trainings,
yeah,
ask not to indulge on all these
yes,
negativities.
yes,
I find that it is actually they are all the 44 things are all the 44 sort of principles, I should say,
yeah.
is can only be carried out in our daily life.
Correct.
Yeah, so Buddha stressed a lot on daily cultivation
Cultivation. Yeah.
in the midst of life. That's why he said
Yes.
the 8 jhanas
Yeah.
are only for what what's
Abide,
the two words?
abiding in the here and the now in pleasant abiding.
Pleasant and peaceful abiding or something like that.
Peaceful abiding.
Yeah. In fact, we must really look at all these 44 cultivation in the midst of life. When
Yes.
people are cruel, we should not be cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those 5 precepts, all the
Yeah.
10 wholesome deeds are there.
Yes.
They
Yes.
put it
Yes.
as 10 unwholesome deeds,
Yes.
the
Yes.
akusala things,
Because
so that we are abstain from them.
yeah, because it is a subdivision of all the defilements. He subdivide into daily life type of cultivation because these are the initial practitioner. You remember? He said, Chunda asked that question
Yeah.
for initial practitioner who are developing this meditative training. Is effacement possible for them? So the Buddha actually under this sutta say, yes, it's still possible, but you have to do it that way, following Salika Sutta. So like I mentioned, Salika Sutta is for people who don't have the past parami or the ability to go into the wisdom way, to insight into phenomena and awaken. Then they come back and cultivate Noble Eightfold Path, which is actually developing the Salika Sutta's 44 aspect of defilement classification. So that way is easier for us. Most of us is like that. That's why I come back this way. Then in the sutta, when I read, I know it's for beginner. You have to begin that way. You have to start with abstinence, means the precept. The first one is sila visuddhi, means purification of morality precepts. So you have to start with all this. That's why he said, when people are cruel, you should abstain from being cruel. This abstinence is precepts. This is effacement. So this is the beginning of training, sila visuddhi, the first purification. Then after that, he moved on to the next one, which is chitta. Then ditti, view. Then only he went to the path and non-path, the even path and uneven path and all those things. That's why it's actually tied out with the 7 stages of purification. So the 7 stages of purification is a normal training for somebody who are starting on the journey to cultivate this teaching. But for those who have the parami, like most of us who already have the training from the past, then we can go the wisdom way first. insight into phenomena, develop the penetrative understanding. It's just like the opening sutra, you remember? He told Junda, effacement can only occur means all those views of self and all those about life and whatever that people are discussing, arguing and all that. He said, you can only root out those views if you have the ability to see things as they are. Means the direct knowledge and vision of the reality. Means able to see things as they are, to insight into phenomena. That one is the wisdom part. That's why finally you must have this, he said. But before you have this, you have to go through all the effacement stages that he mentioned, and he make it very clear, all the 44 subdivision of the defilement mind states, things that you have to avoid, abstain, things that you have to develop as understanding and all those things, they are all clearly stated in the Salika Sutta. That's why that sutta is very, very meaningful and very beautiful. So it's suitable for most people who are starting their training, who don't have much meditative understanding as yet. Then you start with that. Once you start with that, you actually go in stages. Sila Visuddhi means purification of sila or morality. Then Chitta Visuddhi, the content of consciousness. When people have mind's inclination, when you incline on wholesome thing, then is of great benefit, you reap great benefit. So all this content of consciousness is mind's inclination. So you walk towards the 44, you incline towards all this, the avoidance and all these things. So these are all linked to the 7 stages of Satta Visuddhi, purification of mind. Mental purification. Okay? English?
Yes. That's exactly connected with these 3 advice of all Sammasambuddha.
Avoid all evil, cultivate wholesomeness, and purify the mind.
Yes.
So that is the Salika Sutta step. But for us cultivator, we go into meditation straight away. We silence our mind. We realize the true mind. Then we insight into phenomena. We awaken. Then we realize that first part that the Buddha mentioned first. With that, actually, you have the wisdom way. You can clear.
We have the shortcut already.
Correct. But you still cannot live life that time. Because that time, the Noble Eightfold Path cultivation has not been finalized. You only have the insight. So cultivating the Noble Eightfold Path is another extensive cultivation. That's why I always say, whatever meditation you do, if it doesn't bring you back to the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path, it's not the meditation as taught by the Buddha. But according to the Buddha, under the 4th Noble Truth, it's very clear. If you cultivate this Noble Eightfold Path until the Noble Eightfold Path factor become an embodiment of your character, your personality, then it will lead to the end of all suffering. That's why if you don't have this, then you cannot have the 44 type of subdivision of virtue, understanding to develop the enlightened mind. So all these are part and parcel of the cultivation. That's why when it comes to right view, it's the first penetrating insight that we realize through the wisdom way first. Then from there, it will condition us to have the understanding of what constitutes right thought, right speech, right action, then right livelihood, then the 4 right effort. Then from there, the 5 ways to overcome unwholesome thought, to abandon them, to prevent them from arising. Then the 3rd right effort, to cultivate the virtue that are still not in you, the right thought, right speech, right action that are still not in you. And the final right effort is to purify upon, refine upon, and perfect all this virtue that is already in us, but which we haven't refined upon and developed perfection of cultivation. So the four right effort will actually transform the cultivation until you fulfill the first two advice of the Buddha. Avoid all evil, do good. Means develop all the wholesomeness. Then of course, purification of mind come from Samasati and Samadhi. So what we did is our awareness-based meditation take us direct into Samasati. Then from Samasati, the daily mindfulness will stabilize and develop Samadhi in the midst of life. That's how you can be heedful in the midst of life. And that's how the Noble Eightfold Path will come to perfection. That's why it will merge back to the Salika Sutta. So all this understanding is not easy unless you have gone through the whole cultivation, you cannot understand. That's why Salika Sutta is very beautiful. When I read it, I knew what that sutta is and how beautiful the Buddha has actually proclaimed it or expounded it. Okay, Amy?
Yeah, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
Very clear now.
Yeah, now it's very clear. Huh?
Very clear.
Luckily, you arise a condition for me to summarize for you again. Yeah, this is actually what I actually want to deliver that night. But with your condition, I summarize it, then you can see very clearly. It will save you a lot of time to understand this sutta. But this sutta is not easy to understand. Not easy.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I just share a bit of my meditation.
Yeah, that will be good. Yes.
My meditation, the other time when I shared, so I used to doze off when I do my meditation.
Yeah.
So after a while now, I think a few months.
Yeah.
So my meditation is even sometimes when I feel sleepy, I feel tired.
Yeah.
I won't doze off.
Yeah, you can maintain awareness already, yeah?
Yeah, I can
maintain
meditate.
Awareness even while you rest. Very good.
That's the difference I feel.
That is the progress already. Like Sister Tammy last Tuesday, the last session, she just going into the thing. You can hear her own snoring, which is a good sign. That's why when you don't try to do anything or don't try to know, just maintain awareness, then the mind initially, like what you all went through, you were those of because it's very peaceful, very relaxed and silent. Then you will do so. Then the first instant of the snoring, because you are aware, you can pick it up. But that one will like make you conscious. Then you maintain awareness again. So when you do it after a while, like you say, after a few months, now no matter how tired, you should be able to maintain the awareness while resting. That is good sign of progress. That should be the next phase to happen. Then after that, you can stay in the awareness for longer and longer period. Then after you have enough rest, you can do the meditation again. Then the meditation is with full awareness. You just relax and maintain awareness and let the thing do by itself. Trust. So you have to go to trust, stabilize the awareness nature. Then patiently wait for the mind to like develop the stability. Then there is a shift in consciousness. Suddenly your consciousness will transform into a state which is very quiet, very still. That the sankhara or like suddenly become very little or like no more sankhara. Then you experience a type of stillness all of a sudden, like the whole mind become very quiet. You will come to know that and all this thing. That is the next phase you will go through. But to stabilize it is more important. So when you enough rest ready, you come out and maintain awareness. then let it stabilize. Then let the shift of consciousness come. Then when the shift of consciousness come, it's like the former mind will know your mind suddenly become very quiet. Suddenly the mental activity, everything like slow down and cease, or hardly any. Then if you are still curious, then you start to see your sankhara, very subtle sankhara movement, that wanting to know, wanting to understand, and that curiosity, everything. So that one will happen for a while. Never mind, just let things be. Like I always say, don't try to know. When you come out, you can contemplate and reflect. But when you are doing it, try not to. Just relax and maintain awareness. Try not to means unless there is sign, there is condition for you to reflect and contemplate inside there to develop understanding. Most of the time, no need to know and just let it be, maintain awareness. Then allow all this to happen. Then when the shift of consciousness comes, you will know that everything becomes very quiet, very still. Then the mind will enter sati. For the mind to enter sati, you must not think, you must not have any sankhara activity or movement. You just let it be. Then everything becomes very quiet, very still, very subtle. Then the heartbeat also become like very, very subtle, and like finally hardly perceivable, like you cannot detect it. Never mind. Just relax, maintain awareness and stay there. Then let the silent mind detect the gateway. That is to move into trust. Then let it do, let it move. It will move by itself. It will detect by itself. It will do the thing by itself. That is what trust is about. No interference from the thinking mind, the thought process at all. It's the awareness nature that is just aware and developing that movement. That's why I assume you are dead. You are dead means you cannot do anything. You cannot command the mind to do anything. And let the mind be. Then the mind will settle down and become very quiet. And when that Monday mind ceases, the true mind stabilize and surface and become very clear. Then you will know what that thing is. Then when you are with that for a period of time after you have developed that training, there is awareness all the time. When you are aware all the time, it's heedful living, no more heedless living. That's why you are most of the time just aware. Then when you come out of it, when the mind has entered sati, then you will come to realize, how come now is different? Now my mind is with the phenomenon, with everything that I observe, or my sense or activity pick up. Then you realize your mind has entered sati. And most of the time, you are in specific phenomenal awareness, silent, peaceful, without much thought, little or no thought. Because thought is not necessary unless you need to arise them and use them to reflect, to contemplate, to develop understanding, or to communicate. Otherwise, no need. Then that mind becomes very different. So sadhu to you. So these are the stages that you have to go through, which is not very easy, but can be done. And the stages that you can develop as you are able to develop them, you will come to understand all this. Then when you listen to my day sharing again later on, you will rejoice and you will have that joy and understanding that it is so beautiful, like what saying they all gone through, they know. So this is what you need to slowly develop understanding. Okay, Elsie, salute to you.
Yeah. But I used to have joy listening to your sharing.
Well, definitely, now you can start to appreciate bit by bit because of your ability to be aware and your routine. I believe you have also started your bodhisattva vow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sadhu. So all this will create the causes and conditions for you to move, for you to progress, and they will become very beautiful. So have
initially was
faith.
just sorry.
Yeah, you continue. Yeah.
Initially was just like reading, you know. But
Yeah.
now it go deeper. So
Yeah, it's
just to
different already.
understand it as I
Yeah,
read.
because like what Tammy mentioned, the same talk, when she listen again and again, every time is different already. A
Yeah, yeah.
deeper understanding already. Then when you read the transcript, it's different again already. Now you start to see the important Dhamma inside there. Last time you cannot see. They are only like words. Then you try to use knowledge and memory to make head or tail of what that thing is. But now different. Now it's from your nature or your understanding. You straight away see and understand, read and understand, because that is the Dhamma that you have meditated on, reflected, contemplated, developed understanding. So the spiritual faculty, especially faith, saddha, virya, and sati, are the propelling force, where this will enable the cultivator to understand spiritual teachings. So spiritual faculties are very important. That's why faith, saddha leading to virya, then stability of mindfulness cultivate. Without mindfulness, you cannot progress, you cannot understand this teaching. That's why mindfulness is 100% needed. And the stability of it is very important. Leading to daily mindfulness means you are heedful throughout the day, most of the time. Means ever mindful, constantly meditative. Uh, just like Dhammapada verse 21, the Buddha says, heedfulness is the path to the deathless. The heedful never die. Whereas you have not trained, you become heedless. Heedlessness is the path to the dead. The heedless are as if dead. So if in the midst of life, cultivator cannot develop heedfulness, then whatever meditation they do, no meaning. They cannot awaken. They cannot realize. The defilement cannot be seen. Can only be seen with mindfulness, awareness. The stability of sati sampajana, leading to yoniso manasikara, wise attention or the wisdom at the moment of sense experience. Wise attention means at the moment of consciousness attention, there is wisdom. That's why yoniso, wisdom, at the moment of manasikara, attention. That's why they translate as wise attention at the moment of sense experience. So all these teachings are linked, the Avijja Sutta. So sati sampajana is very important until the mind enters sati and your daily mindfulness is very stable. Then all this become possible. And these are very beautiful teachings. Okay, Elsie, sadhu.
Sadhu.
Anything
And
else?
yeah. So actually, there are two times that when I do my meditation, so I felt my heart area was very uncomfortable.
Oh, okay. What do you do after that?
Initially, I didn't realize. Then after the meditation, then I was thinking, what happened to me? So is it because something wrong with me? So how come my heart felt so discomfortable? So after that third time, I meditate again. So I can, before it arrives, then I felt the discomfort, So I was trying to relax into it.
Yeah, you must relax. That's why. If you don't relax, tension and stress will build up. There's something is holding on. Otherwise, it cannot be like that. You are relaxed, you are very peaceful. You are very like tranquil, still.
Yeah.
Then
but
what
to me,
happened?
I tried to relax into it, but it's not easy, because
Definitely.
the heart area is, I still felt that discomfort.
No, because when you overexert, it will arise this type of tension and stress where you don't know how to balance the relaxation. The relaxation is number one. Then the exertion is actually by the thought, which you doesn't know, where the thought want to be there. You just have to relax and maintain awareness. Don't try to do anything until the mind becomes quiet, until the thinking, everything is slow down. Then let it detect by itself. Of course, initially you find it difficult to be there, so you can stay there. Stay there means like you want it to stay there. That one is okay. That one is not a problem. Then you don't go and force it. Don't go and exert, like try to exert to stay at the heart area. No, just relax, maintain awareness, and stay there. It's okay. Then the first support, always remember, relax into every mind state that arises. If stress or tension build up, or uncomfortable sensation, feeling build up, means you are not relaxed enough. So just relax. Then assume you are dead. Then when you are dead, you cannot do anything. There is nothing to hold, nothing to tighten or what, because the mind is not there. It will go back to its original state. It will go back to its true mind. So all this is an understanding. So when you relax until there is no more sankhara, no more thinking, then all this will relieve by itself. So you give it a try. Just relax. Whatever happens, relax into it, silent. Don't over-exert. Don't force it. You force it, then sometimes it will build up and become uncomfortable. But people doesn't realize that one is by the thought, because it's very subtle. From the back door, it come back. It wants to be there. The one thing is by the thought. So just relax. Don't try to know. Maintain awareness means maintain, stay to be aware. Whatever arises, aware, 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 finish, aware, finish. Train until it's stabilized. That's why I have to be patient initially. Just relax into whatever mind state arises. Then maintain awareness and stabilize it. Then it will come. It will come. Okay, Elsie?
Yeah, sadhu.
Sadhu, yeah. Very good. That's why you have to share and report all this. Then I can advise you all, so that you can actually develop more understanding of the cultivation and refine upon your practice. If you are quiet, dare not ask, shy, because the thought is shy, so that one will not benefit you all. So what you did is very good. Sadhu,
Yeah, sadhu.
yeah. So you listen to all this again, it will help you.
Yes.
Anything else?
That's about all.
Good. Exactly 10:30 just now I heard the alarm. My wife said trigger. So okay, let us rejoice with a good sharing.